just to suggest that this crime has been happening to me since I was a little kid, and I was not able to actually figure out the crime until I was 43 years old. So a little less than 2 years ago, I was trying to call back my autonomy, which I believe a person has the right to still. And these people just didn't leave me be. And they never could. Like, either by eavesdropping on my information or hacking me to try and steal up every last little avenue I have of my work life, for example, was wherever I would get a job, it would be one thing or the other, or multiple occasions of a poisoning, per se, to try and stop me, and which did stop me in my performance. So I would have performance issues that I wouldn't have been able to see happening to me. And so they're trying to make a felony activity out of a hyperbolic state of mind that, much as the history has and would show that these are the actual things that have happened to me, and no one should have to fear anybody more than those that would actually be working in this way over somebody's life, correct? So it's all been really super hard, like ever since I was born, being poisoned up in the ways that I have been, not only by my father, but my two brothers, other people within the community growing up, and Jesse, and others, including relationally, like my romantic partners. So, and I'm not going to say all, but if I had an organic relationship, it would definitely be instigated by the perpetrators of this type of identity and closing on me to suggest that they would want to get in the way of it, get in the way of my having an organic relationship with somebody, because they needed to control every avenue that I had to be able to call back my energy to then stop an ongoing poisoning of me. And I just wanted to get away from everybody and anybody so that I could finally think for myself and to reach to discover what has been happening to me, because it would be me constantly dealing with the covert warfare or spiritual warfare, suggesting to even the people that I thought I had as my brothers or my friend, and then these people can't have an adulting conversation with me about it now, whereas they're trying to utilize the system to say that I'm a felon, when it's not true. It's not true. And so I'm sitting here in this situation based on the systematic type of enclosing on my identity, on my character online, on my performance at work, and within my relationships with who are supposed to be loving partners, which if they were, they wouldn't have been working in the fashions as they have. They wouldn't have been saying and doing and moving certain ways in which they absolutely have. And so it's a hard thing to prove to other people, where in the situation yourself, you don't have to second guess it. You don't have to, you're not like in a situation to not know what's been happening to you based on you going to these people saying that I have something happening to me and it's not from me, but it's happening to me in these ways that I just really need your help in discovering. And it would mean a lot to me to get your help and get the second set or third set of eyeballs on my situation, because something's happening to me. But you're in Stockholm Syndrome. You're going to the people that are actually doing the crime. Not knowing at the time, obviously. You're not going to just be like, oh, I'm trying to run away from somebody and I'm going to go talk to them and be like, can you help me out with this? No, that's the reason why I needed to call back my energy. Because otherwise that energy would have been depleted. And there were certain attacks on my life where I know my own stamina well enough to know that these things have been really happening to me. I'm not like making it up. I wish that I was. And not only that, but I wish that I had them as friends, real friends, people that would actually have the availability of having a real adulting conversation with me, not having to utilize the courts, not having to utilize these systematic ways to just steal up more time and energy and resources. That's not even conducive to my life. The only thing it's conducive to is their availability of utilizing the system then to be helping them in a covert fashion of aiding and abetting this crime over my life. And if they get away with it, it's my whole life. It's my whole livelihood that's at stake. It's like it's seriously, if you're poisoned up from when you're in diapers, going into being a toddler, going into being, 7, 8, 9, going into being in your teens, and you're still being poisoned, right? It makes it easier for them to continue the control over a person, to continue that covert poisoning. And not only that, but it gives them this ultra ego to suggest to themselves, look how easy it is to steal candy from a baby. Look how easy it is to push this kid around and to continuously work in this way against him. Look how easy it is. Right? And so, because it's so easy, in their minds, they think that all the way up through the availability of having these people work in proxy to keep you within proximity of a crime, you can kind of pretend that my life, my livelihood, my work life, my love life, my, every avenue of my actual availability of organic living then is much like a bank vault in a heist movie. And in those heist movies, they have characters playing in parts all over the place so that they can try and work around the system, work around the, whatever they have to do to get into that bank vault and take everything out of that bank vault. So take away in the situation, staking out my love life to take my love life away from me, staking out my work life to take my love for my craftsmanship and my workmanship away from me, at just every avenue of my organic goal at trying, right? And so next you have the fact that within these gig app communities, if they're able to hack you and hack your phones, also maneuvering to poison you, it's not only to keep you out of states of mind to know how to articulate facts, but also making it easier for them to as well perform their crime. So it's like the bank vault idea where it's like, they'd have the people in place with the guns, they'd have people in the place for getaway cars, they'd have people in place to even create other scenes maybe around the city or whatever to, like a bank heist movie. We've all seen bank heist movies. They're just, there's not many things that can go beyond what goes into play when they get away with these crimes, per se. You know, if they in the movie got away with the crime of getting into the bank vault and getting away with everything. And so it's much like that, but it's my life. It's my livelihood. It's my availability to own the avenues of my life that I'm trying to live, trying to work like. I wouldn't be out here speaking out about these things. I would be working in my craftsmanship for trying to make my music. And not only that, but I would have been able to actually suggest to my friend, being a true friend, with camera gear, with love in his heart, with support in a true support system, to say, well, let's help me create these drumming videos. Maybe like I can get, 7 or 12 done a week, to put out here, to say that I could be a drumming expert to help people in their drumming skills and be a drum teacher. Be a drum coach of a sort, and then be working on my music. Just anything to have that support system actually be there for you means a whole lot. If you don't actually have that, and they're actually playing about that fake and that two-faced way, then anytime you actually need them, and it comes down to the point of you actually needing their assistance and it never being there, well, it's like, well, who are you? Why? You in other situations, like if you ever need to use my van so you can move these leaves and stuff like that, you can ask me. Okay, well, I need your van. Well, not now, and it's just sitting there. Then again, who are you? Same thing with, well, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry, man, about that scratch. If you got an issue with some cash or whatever, like, I got money, man. I can help you out with some money. And then 3-4 months goes by, or 6 months goes by, or whatever it is, and now you're in a situation where you actually do need their help financially, and you're like, hey, I actually do need that offer of support right now with some scratch. Do you think you could help me out with just $200? I need like $2,000, or I need like $3,000, but just to like help me eat, to like try and get out more. Can you help me out with that too? No, I can't do that. Sorry. Again, well, where are you? Where is your mind frame in regards to actually helping me with this matter? Because it doesn't seem like you're trying to help me out with any matter. You're trying to puff up the scene of like being a support system for me, just so in the nick of time you can take it away. So that's not a true friend. It's not someone that you want inside of your life. So me calling back my energy helped me realize not only that my house was being invaded, they were having an affair inside of my house after 12 plus years of homelessness. They were moving about these ways, and he was moving about this way prior in my life. Meaning to absolutely psychologically damage me, psychologically ruin me, emotionally creating this warfare inside of my mind that didn't allow me to actually get out of my reasoning skills to articulate what's happening to me. I'm being poisoned left and right throughout my life. Very controlled amount, until it was me finding out about the crimes, and then it just got super serious. Like, I had a real hard time just focusing to realize that this is real. This is a real heavy-duty crime, and I need to get out of it. I need to escape these people from being able to even come into close proximity with me. And it doesn't mean them themselves. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. And then immediately after that, it's like someone else calling you saying like, oh, well, why would you bite the hand that's trying to feed you? I'm not biting the hand that's trying to feed me, G. I'm just not accepting you to bring me a plate of food. If you want to legitimately help me, you'll help me be able to have the money so that I can have the availability of me going and getting that food myself. I'm not going to accept a plate of food from somebody that obviously doesn't care about my well-being. And so they purport these ways. They have people watching you everywhere you go. You don't have any freedom, no privacy rights. And on top of it, it was like even before like the court stuff, it almost prevented me from even being able to be online. Though me actually working to like stop that type of criminal activity over my life, I wouldn't have been or stop the hack, I wouldn't have even been able to be there in the first place, which then just opens up the door for a bigger can of worms inside of your life, which is exactly what they work to do. They need me in trouble for their crimes against me. And that's the hardest thing to prove. The hardest thing to prove about these situations that are happening in my life, against my livelihood, against my organic go at living my life how I would otherwise live it, or against my natural ability to perform in a job setting that I got. And then I was going to bring up the Instacart thing. It's like if I can log in from one phone that isn't the phone number associated with the account, and I can log in with the other phone that the phone number isn't associated with the account, while that phone line is also being monitored or hacked, or however, like you have these it's piggybacking of this hacking going on. So they're piggybacking on my phone number, and then Instacart itself told me that another shopper has my phone number, the phone number that I'm actually able to get into the accounts with. So then I'm asking for them to legitimately go through the internet service providers, go through the phone services, get an actual list of all of the IP addresses and MAC addresses of what is actually inside of the background piggybacking on my data. Because what I'll get is just out of the blue. Like, I'm not requesting a code. You can request a code and get the code, enter the code, and you should be able to get into your account. Well, I'm trying that on the phone that I should be able to get on so that I can minimize the bill. But they're not even allowing me to minimize the bill so that I can continue to work. You see? Because they want to monitor my work. They want to know my activity. They want to know my whereabouts. GPS me. Basically creating the backdoor piggybacking of this hacking and hijacking of my life, to suggest that these codes are just coming up on random. And I don't know if they're able to see that, get that information, then, I don't know what that interaction is. I'm not a hacker. I'm not a bad person in that fashion. I would be there for my friend. I would be there for my brother. I would be there for my people in ways that they obviously can't be for me. So I'm really trying to work hard to figure out how do I get through that to where I can get that information back, and then I can't even get the place itself to give me availability to reset all of the values behind the application to suggest that I have private control and access to my own workmanship. So if they're not able to, and literally, I'll be in the middle of a call or texting with these people, and then they'll suggest that they'll be, elevating the call or elevating the text to another part of the business that deals more with these issues, and then it never goes through. The chat ends, the call ends just abruptly. So it tells me that it's the same thing as my not being able to get any kind of support in the fashion of like me saying I've been poisoned up to actually do blood work, and they're suggesting, this is a mental health issue, blah blah blah. They're not actually looking at the physical body then. They're just trying to allow for this piggybacking to continue in my life, to where I'm not allowed to get any kind of helpful resources based on the facts that just are. And then what am I supposed to do? I'm being monitored everywhere I go, too. Like, legitimately, everywhere I go. It's about monitoring me, having access to me, or however you want to see it or say it. It's not allowing me to have a private go right now, like when I'm getting to a place to perform my life the way I would be trying to perform my life organically. So it's really a sick crime, if you ask me. And you don't necessarily know these things, but if you're unable to work in these fashions in an organic fashion, and there's constantly a proxy person that's keeping you within proximity to know your location, know where you're going, know how you're going, know where you're going, know why you're going, all of that. Just add all of the information that they need to continuously follow you, be everywhere that you go. You know that you're being followed. You know that you're being monitored on that level. And it's to suggest that they're just trying to take away your organic life, your livelihood, which is what happened to me in the first place with the cyanide attack, with the poisons and stuff like that. They weren't allowing me to even get away. And I had to legitimately pretend to these people that I didn't know for so long, and just trying to move away from them quietly, because they weren't allowing me to get away. I was telling them to leave me be, and then I would forget that I would be telling them to leave me be. Because it's not that I didn't want a love life, and it's not that I didn't want loving partners, loving friendships in that fashion to actually be there to support me, but they just never were. So I just started having to move differently, and because I did, it scared them. They upped the ante, so to speak. And so that's why I'm out here looking for support nonstop, because what else am I supposed to do? I can't even get anyone to suggest to me what I can do. I've literally made and have been making every single report that I can to the police about every last thing that's happening inside of my accounts, inside of the reasoning, inside of even bringing up as much evidence as can be suggested based on, the command prompt issues, for an example of me having to fight for my own Wi-Fi, for my own connection, instead of it being piggybacked and hijacked, and literally having these hackers attack me by brute force. They literally, these hackers like to work by complete brute force. Take over the areas that you need, that they know you're paying for, so that you're not able to utilize your time to make a song or two, but instead you're having to utilize that time left and right to fight these issues. So it's taking away, again, your organic ability to work the way that you would otherwise work. And I know who these people are. I know where it's coming from, because, again, that wasn't happening. These people would be able to have an organic conversation with you and actually be there to support you, not just to have a conversation with you, but they would actually be your support system, not a fake proxy support system. So until next time, thank you for being here, and God bless. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I know I'm trying to.